2025 has been an absolutely crazy year. It's definitely had its ups and downs, everything from me finding out that I was losing my job to finding out that I was going to be a first time father. And I'm a big believer that without discomfort, there is no growth. 2025 has taught me a lot. And in this episode, I want to share just 7 of the lessons that I've learned in the first half of 2025. Before we dive in, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Joshua Bridwell, and here on this channel, I help men live their best life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. So hit that subscribe button, join the YouTube family of people who have already taken the first step to living their best life. While 2025 has had its really exciting moments, it's also had its really stressful moments. I'm not going to lie. One thing that I've learned this year is that taking care of yourself is not selfish. In fact, it's selfish not to take care of yourself. For a long time, I was the yes man. I said yes to everything because I just wanted to help people. I wanted to be a nice person. And over time, I got really stressed. I got burned out. And as a result, I learned the importance of rest the hard way. And if you don't choose when you're going to rest, life is going to choose for you. And it's much easier for you to choose your own rest. In fact, you should schedule rest into your daily routine. If you're a checklist person, add it to your list. Something else that you should add to your list is doing something for your health. If you don't invest in your health, nothing else matters. What good is having money if you're not well enough to enjoy it? You deserve to look and feel your best. And one investment that I've made into my health and my fitness journey has been my Whoop. Whoop is not a sponsor of this video. It's just a product that I personally use, and I've experienced changes in my sleep, my fitness, my mood, my overall well-being. But maybe an investment into your health isn't a fitness tracker. Maybe it's a gym membership you'll actually use. According to exercise.com, about 2/3 of all gym memberships go completely unused. So if you sign up for a gym membership, actually go. Maybe an investment into your health is spending an extra $30, $40 at the grocery store to just buy healthier food. Whatever your health journey looks like, you owe it to yourself and to those around you to invest in your health and to take care of yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. A lot of people start off the year by trying to set a New Year's resolution, and we all know how I feel about New Year's resolutions. If you're new to the channel and you don't know my take on this, I don't believe that New Year's resolutions work because they are based on motivation, but when discipline is required, resolutions fail. Instead, I believe that people should have a word of the year. A word of the year is a word that you focus on and you build your habits and your goals around this word. Think of it as the North Star for your year. And this year, for me, the word is intentionality. And I set this because it's an area where I needed to grow, but I didn't realize the effects that it would have on my life. In fact, it's the very reason that I was able to make this video for you that you're watching right now. If you are wanting to be intentional in your life, the very first step is to have the courage to be honest about your current situation. When my wife and I first started dating, I told her that finances were really important to me and that I wanted her to learn how to do a budget. And she was really hesitant to do it at first because she did not want to face the amount of debt that she had at the time. But as a financial coach, this was not the first time that I saw someone try to hide from their finances. The truth is, the what I can't see can't hurt me approach never works. As I've said, you need to be honest about your current situation in life, even if you don't tell anybody else. The best way to be honest with yourself is to perform what I call a life audit. I need you to analyze your life in 5 key areas of health: physical health, mental health, spiritual health, financial health, and relational health. And to help get you started, I've created a life audit guide and I put it in the description of this video down below. Go check it out. It's completely free. Answer the questions and get a clear picture of your life and your situation. Speaking of questions, the next thing that I've learned this year is that asking questions is extremely valuable. Growing up, I always thought that I was the smartest person in the room. And as I got older, I realized that if I was the smartest person in the room, I was in the wrong room. However, being in a room full of smarter people isn't enough. You have to ask questions. I learned that when you ask questions to people, they feel valued. You're admitting that you don't know everything and that they have something valuable in the form of information. When you ask questions, you're also learning. You can't learn if you think you know everything. It's not just about asking questions, it's about asking the right questions. Questions that ultimately lead to a deeper understanding of an idea. I've also seen people, and I've been the person that has tried to provide somebody with a solution before actually having a deep understanding of an idea or their situation. And sometimes we can be quick to provide an answer before we have all of the pieces because we want to appear smart or we want to appear wise. However, this often leads to giving really bad advice. Asking questions helps you to gain clarity about an idea or a situation in order to provide better advice and just truly help people. Not because you want to appear smart, but because you actually value them, because you actually care about them. And sometimes asking questions isn't just about learning or providing answers, but sometimes it helps people to come up with a solution on their own. Asking questions can help people see their own situations more clearly and come up with healthier and sometimes more effective thoughts and ideas. Back when I was 18, I wanted to learn as much about business as possible. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I studied everything that I could. And I remember paying for a course that mentioned the importance of negotiating. When it comes to negotiating, you're aiming for a win-win scenario. Both people involved gain value because a deal was made. What I didn't know was that negotiating would be a huge piece of life in general, especially in relationships and marriage. For example, my wife and I are trying to win financially, and the plan that we are a part of calls for having an emergency fund of $1,000. However, my wife feels more comfortable having $2,500 set aside for emergencies, while I see benefit in taking the extra $1,500 and throwing it at debt or investing. Having it set aside is a small price to pay to have my wife on board and helping me row the boat in the right direction for our family. I also have a good friend named David. I see him post on social media occasionally where he talks about tasks that he would be able to complete quickly by himself, but he brings his sons along in order to spend time with them and to teach them skills that will be valuable later in life. Sure, he could do it faster himself, but he is negotiating and compromising with his time to invest in his family. A quote that has stuck with me is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. And when it comes to working with other people and creating a win-win scenario, it will require healthy compromise. I'm not saying that you should compromise on your core values and your morals, but anything that does not negatively affect your character is compromisable. A healthy give and take that helps a relationship or a team win creates longevity. Y'all, this next one is something I'm super excited to talk to you about. Those that have been following me for a while may know this, but back in 2018, I launched my first company. It was a financial coaching company called Coin Counselor, and I loved being a financial coach. The problem was that I made really poor business decisions and tried to grow too fast. And I also remember meeting with an elderly lady that was so broke that she was having to eat dog food from her pantry. And Coin Counselor was a for-profit company, and I had an issue morally with charging someone who was in that position. I didn't charge her, by the way. But eventually the company was dissolved back in 2021. Even though the company didn't work out, I've still had a passion for being a financial coach. I recently completed an internship at my church to finish my Master of Divinity degree. And while I was participating in my internship, I spoke with the family and community pastor and shared with him about my experience. He told me that he would love to find a way for me to use my skills and my experience to help serve families that are struggling financially. The lesson that I learned in all of this is just because a dream or a desire doesn't work in the past does not mean that it never will. Desires can circle back. Another prime example of that is literally this YouTube channel. When I first started this channel, it was all about men's faith, fashion, and finance. Over time, I took a break and then I created the Joshua Bridwell Show. And that channel is all about personal, professional, and spiritual growth. Over the last month, I've made the decision to separate the Joshua Bridwell Show podcast and my YouTube and social media presence. Don't worry, I'm still going to be doing the Joshua Bridwell Show podcast, and I'm even going to be posting stuff on the Joshua Bridwell Show YouTube channel every once in a while. However, this channel is going to be my new primary channel moving forward. I'm going back to my roots. I'm focusing on men's fashion, faith, finance, and overall lifestyle. So if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and take the first step to living a life that you're excited to get out of bed for. And with all of this said, this year has proven to me more than once that just because a goal or a desire does not work in the past does not mean that it never will. Desires can circle back. Something that most people know deep down, but don't often practice, is that who you have on your team matters. In this sense, outside of business, I consider my closest friends and my family my team. Naturally we gravitate towards people that think and act like we do, and that's not a bad thing, but we need people in our lives that can offer different perspectives and skills. And back when I was living in San Antonio, I had what I believed to be the best roommate combination. There was a roommate who always came up with really cool and fun ideas, a visionary, a roommate who always had or was able to get everything that we needed. He was really resourceful. And we also had a roommate who always made things happen, logistical. Each of us had unique skills that were different from one another, but made the team even stronger. Even my wife and I bring different things into our marriage. You also need to trust that the people on your team love you and want you to win. Now that I'm devoting more time and energy into content creation, I've developed a content co-op that consists of Superpilot and my friends over at What the French Toast podcast. And speaking of which, I want to thank my friends over at What the French Toast for sponsoring this video. They are giving all of you 20% off of all of their merch on WTFTpodcast.com through the month of September using the code TJBS. Don't miss out. And everyone in the content co-op is constantly learning and working to improve themselves and their content. When one member of the team wins, you all win. A team is only as strong as its weakest player. And when one person gets better, the entire team gets better. The way that you can help a team member get better is by providing honest feedback, both positive and constructive. At my old job, we would call this champion and challenge. A champion is what went well, and a challenge was a growth opportunity. We believed the best in each other, and we expected the best from each other. We all want each other to succeed, not just as a member of the content co-op, but just as great friends. Superpilot and I get together on Saturdays and we run through our goals to celebrate wins and hold each other accountable. In your life, it is extremely important to surround yourself with people whose morals align with yours, add diverse perspective and skills, and who loves you enough to want you to win and provide you with healthy feedback. The people you have on your team will determine whether you win a championship. This last one is definitely still a work in progress. We have come a long way, but we are definitely not perfect. I'm talking about the importance of taking care of your space. When my wife and I got married, we were living in a one-bedroom apartment. We kept things pretty clean, but truthfully, there wasn't a whole lot for us to take care of. A year later, we moved into a 4-2 house, and what they say is true. The house filled up pretty quickly. And I learned the hard way that the bigger the space and the more stuff that you get, this leads to making the space easier to become disorganized. And there have been times where the house was so disorganized that it really stressed me out. And I didn't even know where to start cleaning stuff. I remember coming home from a long and stressful day working out in the Texas heat and seeing the condition of the home. And it made my entire day so much more stressful. It affected my mood, my appetite, my sleep. And y'all, truthfully, I just couldn't take it anymore. The next day, I cleaned the entire house from top to bottom. And after cleaning, I decided to do some research. And I found that having an organized home reduced stress and anxiety. It boosts your mood, it improves your focus and productivity, it allows you to sleep better, encourages healthier habits, and can improve the overall health that you have. Plus, if you're a man and you want to have friends or a date over to your place, you want your place to be clean, organized, and peaceful. I mean, you deserve to feel peaceful and confident in your own place. Taking care of your space leads to a better life beyond the home. These are just 7 of the lessons that I've learned in the first half of 2025 that have actually improved my life. I'd love to hear something that you've learned in 2025 so far that's made your life even better. Leave a comment down below. And y'all, I can't wait to see what the rest of 2025 has in store for me and for my family. I'm really grateful. And honestly, I'm really excited for the relaunch of this channel. It's been on my mind for a long time now, but I can officially say that I'm back. I'm better than ever. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the YouTube family. And for more content, take a listen to the Joshua Bridwell Show wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for supporting me, for supporting my family, and helping this channel grow. Go ahead, fill out your life audit, and I'll see you in the next video.